You know, I think that
you got a Jewish content creator alongside multiple Arab content creators banned off the platform for 30 days.
There's a reason they call him token,
and then the
my
ADL
friend.
actually reacted.
You spend time being a token, you're going to get spent.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to my room. Since a lot of my community crosses over with my anime rival Nuxandor, I'm going to assume that you've been keeping up with the critically acclaimed How Fucked Is Hasan Piker franchise, and that a lot of you already know who Hasan Piker and Ethan Klein are, so I'm not going to dive too deep into each character's lore. They debated in what can only be comparable to a car crash you can't look away from, and I watched the whole thing, so you don't have to. I'm going to throw my entire body on this hand grenade and give you the rundown by cutting out all the bullshit. Now, I'm not going to break down the whole thing because it's a 5-hour debate and this video will turn into a feature-length film, but I can cover the moments that were very telling as well as my favorite moments in the whole debate. So here we go. One thing I've learned about Hasan Piker just from watching this debate is that Hasan Piker is a raging narcissist who is deathly allergic to accountability. Ethan has admitted to being wrong about particular issues on several occasions, but Hasan can't bring himself to do it. He will make excuses, shift blame, deflect, and contort reality into a pencil to fit his narrative instead of just being like, yeah, terrorism is bad, and comparing the Houthi pirates to Anne Frank is probably not a good look. He can't do it. He can't do it. So the debate kicks off. Hasan wants to lay down some ground rules that he never actually ends up laying down or clarifying at all. And you could tell right from the jump that Hasan is unprepared. But he's such a narcissist that he tries to control the conversation and fails miserably every time. From the jump, he tries to exert control, trying to tell Ethan's team how to do their own production and swiftly getting shut down by Ethan.
If you want, just show like, not just Ethan, but yourself as well. If you're going to talk, like that's fine.
Hey,
I don't know
Hasan,
if it's gonna be too difficult.
leave the production notes to my team. You can switch your show how you like.
Hasan then tries to regain control by attempting to lay down ground rules that he never actually ends up establishing.
Before we get started, can I lay some like ground rules so we can have like a productive conversation?
Sure.
And then tries to define Zionism to make sure that they're all on the same page. Zionism is just the belief that Israel has a right to exist. That's it. They were chased out of their homes by terrorists and wound up in part of Palestine that they now call Israel. And for some reason, the left has made wiping out Israel and the rest of the Jews part of the hill that they want to die on. So they define that. Hasan tries to get Ethan with a gotcha question, but it backfires because Ethan agrees with Hasan, which stopped him dead in his tracks. And you could tell that he had to adjust his line of questioning after that.
I think that this is a disagreement that you and I have.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. If you want to add that, like the genesis of Zionism included, you know, the displacement and you know, the ravaging of the culture that existed there, then I would agree with you. I mean, I don't think that the establishment of Israel was like a good thing.
Nice.
Now it's Ethan's turn to ask a question. This is the part where we figure out that these two men are here for very different reasons. And when Hasan realizes that he's backed into a corner, he tries to pretend Ethan is crazy, even though Hasan just moments earlier acknowledged that Ethan had grievances with his behavior that they were definitely going to address.
I wanted to come on to make this as issue specific as possible. But yes, you have grievances with me. And of course, I think they're valid to address.
Okay, good.
Of course, we'll talk about that.
Hasan is here to talk about the struggle between Israel and Palestine. Ethan is here to talk about Hasan, and he dives right into the deep end with questions about iDubbbz's content cop.
How was filming that content cop? I just have to know what you felt, what you were thinking as they were doing the Fortnite L behind you.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
No. We're here.
Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. We all do comedy sketches, Ethan. What do you mean? Blah, 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 blah. Basically, Ethan is like, do you think they should have included the context of the content cop clips? The context being that Ethan had CPS fraudulently called on him for bullshit, and Hasan deflects, saying that he's not iDubbbz, he didn't upload content cop, and he's not at fault in any way, nor is he capable of making any value judgments on any of his friends. Weird. How hard is it to be like, yes, I didn't make content cop or edit it together, but Ian should have probably included the context. Not like it would have mattered, it would have been received the same by the general public anyways, but still, how hard is it to be like, yes, that was not a good look?
Okay, so, do you believe that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza?
Yes.
Okay, great.
cool. Blah, 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 blah. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. So they start talking about this fucking sword, right? And this looks particularly bad for reasons everybody is aware of. For starters, this is a sword from an anime called Bleach. It's not actually a swastika sword. Everybody is aware that it's not an actual swastika sword. Nobody's trying to make an assertion that this was a sword that somebody crafted into a swastika. Commentators I've seen have been confused about this part, and they thought it was the biggest waste of time, and thus this was petty and catty, but they're missing the entire point because they didn't watch the debate. The point is, 1, the sword has a handguard shaped like a swastika. 2, there are 10 swords to choose from, but that one was chosen specifically to use in a hit piece against a Jewish man. 3, Hasan himself calls it the swastika sword, as seen here.
And I said, oh, you immediately go over the swastika one.
So it begs the question, out of all the swords that you could choose from, why choose the quote-unquote swastika sword in a hit piece about a Jewish man, and then how can you claim that it's not anti-Semitic? That entire situation could be considered covert anti-Semitism. We live in an era where domestic terrorists are drawing swastikas on Jewish people's cars, so why wouldn't this be brought up? Everybody who thought this was ridiculous missed the point entirely. And of course, Hasan does everything except condemn the action. Hasan tried to excuse it by saying that he had the sword out specifically because he was doing an Assassin's Creed promo because, you know, he's a communist with a Gucci bag.
I'm a communist with a Gucci bag. Got my Prada kicks, yeah. Got to have my swag.
He, of course, had to have that one because it's the only long sword, you know, not including the one literally behind him, which Ethan also draws attention to. But Hasan says that, oh, boo-hoo, that one's a real sword, and real swords are too heavy, so he had to use the fake one that just happened to have a swastika on it. I have a real sword too, okay? Yes, there's weight to them, but it's not heavy. Hasan just inadvertently admitted that he is too weak to wield an actual katana. That's how far he's willing to go to avoid condemning this picture or having any sort of accountability for photos taken in his own room.
Do you feel like if I thought it was like genuinely a swastika sword, I would use it in an Assassin's Creed promo shot?
Yes. That's what we call a dog whistle, Hasan. And what you're doing is gaslighting somebody.
They spend a lot of time talking about that sword because Hasan cannot condemn it or say that it was bad. He's got excuse after excuse. He deflects. He absolutely cannot admit that it looks bad and even calls Ethan insane for considering that this is some sort of microaggression, even though it 100% is by the left's own definition. So I don't want to spend too much time on this because they spend a long time talking about this sword, but this is a beautiful nugget that was dropped.
Do you think that Jews have an exclusivity agreement with like being offended or not offended by Nazi imagery? You've done a Sig Heil approximately what 50 times.
Why did I do a Sig Heil? Why did I do a Sig Heil?
I don't know.
Because you only watch clips on Twitter. I was making fun of Elon Musk and trying to see if it was valid or not.
Oh, thank you.
And by the way, as a Jewish man, are you going to tell black people not to use the N-word?
Wait, what? Okay. So,
oh my God, get on with it. A lot of this debate was just that. Hasan not knowing what the fuck he's gonna say next. Ethan is answering Hasan's questions in short answers without a whole lot of fluff. For example, Hasan asks a long-winded question about setting boundaries in the conflict or whatever, and Ethan just says that killing civilians is the boundary, which is a good as fuck answer. Because if you've been following along with the critically acclaimed How Fucked Is Hasan Piker franchise, you already know that killing civilians is not off the table for Hasan Piker. Hamas will use Palestinians as human shields, and when the IDF shoots through the civilians, Hamas will point at Israel and be like, see? Look at how they kill our people. Like, it's all kinds of fucked up. They store weapons in hospitals. Hamas is just pure evil, all right? Anyway, moving on. So they spend the next few minutes talking about the phrase, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And I'm not Jewish or Palestinian, so I'm not even going to pretend to know what this means or how it's meant to be interpreted. And there's a lot of misinformation on the internet, so I'm just gonna phone a friend here.
In case you're curious, from the river to the sea means killing all Jews in Israel. There's no other way to explain it. There is literally no other possible feasible explanation for it. It's from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free is the expression. Here is the Jordan River. Here is the Mediterranean Sea. They want to wipe out all Jews between the river and the sea. They want to kill all Jews in Israel. That's what the phrase means. Now, most of the Free Palestine people, I don't think they actually know that. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. They want to kill all Jews in Israel. That's what it means. Or at least get rid of all of them. Now, I want to make something else clear that a lot of people don't want to bring up specifically here either, because a lot of people like glazing terrorists on Twitch. The leaders of both Hamas and Hezbollah have specifically said, these are two terrorist organizations. This is Hamas is currently in Gaza, and here in Lebanon is Hezbollah. So these guys have both specifically said they want all Jews in the world to move to Israel so that they could kill all Jews at the same time. This is literally, quote, what the terrorists actually say. Okay? Now, I personally tend to believe terrorists that kill Jews that say they want to kill more Jews. Personally, they're terrorists. They're really bad guys. Now, Hasan likes to think that their slogan, from the river to the sea, doesn't mean that.
Thank you, Tiny Blue Yokai. I will see you in the next World Martial Arts Tournament.
You defended Frogan's use of the Sabra tier list. What was your opinion on that?
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
So Ethan grills Hasan on various microaggressions like Hulk Frogan and her tier list, and Hasan claiming that Ethan works with the ADL and blah, 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 blah.
Also, ironically wearing a Rolex hat, which is like probably the symbol of capitalist excess.
All right, bullshit. None of this actually matters. I'm saving you precious time. We're not getting any younger. The universe is expanding and contracting in the time it takes these two grown men to finish having a playground argument. I'm pretty sure we hit a second ice age around the 2-hour mark. All right, here we go.
I don't think this is going the way you perceived it to be going.
I think it's going great. And it's revealing quite a bit about Hasan, and it shows quite a bit of Hasan's personality, including his inability to hold himself accountable, and his own sense of moral superiority is on full display. And it's difficult to watch this up to this point and think Hasan is winning the debate. It's very, very hard. Ethan has been hitting Hasan with well-prepared lines of questioning and one-liners that just come out of nowhere and make you go, Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, Hasan's not replying well to the very grievances that he himself already said should be addressed.
But yes, you have grievances with me, and of course, I think they're valid to address.
He's being very dodgy. Dodge Charger looking ass boy. If you can dodge a question, you can dodge a ball looking ass boy. He's deflecting lines of questioning like Link's mirror shield, but at the same time, he wants you to know that he chooses his words very carefully.
Ethan, I use my words very carefully.
He says that multiple times throughout this debate, which only traps him as we get into more serious topics later on. For example, Hasan brings up Ethan's content nuke video and says that things were taken out of context, including Hasan saying that there were no evidence of rapes occurring on October 7th.
The systematized mass rapes that Hamas dealt on October 7th, not a single bit of that has been verified. Ethan, I use my words very carefully.
Ethan shows a compilation of Hasan denying the rapes on October 7th, and Mr. I choose my words very carefully is clearly seen choosing his words very carefully.
I'm using my words very carefully.
Right.
I don't know if Ethan has like a folder of Hasan compilations on his desktop or something categorized into subfolders, just folders upon folders of Hasan compilations, because Hasan is the one that brought this topic up, and Ethan is like, bam, compilation. In like 2 seconds, he's got it up. And it doesn't look good because even Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are acknowledging the rapes, and Hasan is making faces at them like these aren't even real and are just rape fantasies of the mentally ill. Those are his words.
I can't believe how quickly leftists go from believe all women to pics or it didn't happen.
There's mountains of evidence to suggest that women were raped on October 7th during the attack, but Hasan needs DNA evidence and a rape kit done on the bodies for him to be convinced. Because why would the lovely people of Hamas do such a heinous thing? Jeez, guys, let's not act like they're some sort of terrorist organization or something.
You deny that mass rapes happen, not that rapes happen. Listen to my words.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I do
good.
deny
Well, there you go.
Because there is no evidence.
I'm cutting out a lot of the crash out and them shouting over top of each other. So if you want to watch the full thing, you can go to H3 Podcast who watched the debate with Hasan Piker. I will link it in the description. We're going to skip a lot of this part here. They talk about Hasan calling Jewish people inbred, which he never apologizes for, and again tries to deflect and dodge all accountability. He's literally being shown a compilation of himself saying inbred this and inbred that when referring to Jewish people, and Hasan's defense is, they're fucking Nazis, Ethan.
You understand that, right?
Rubs off on
They're
people.
fucking Nazis,
That doesn't
Ethan.
make it
What's
any
wrong
less
with you?
anti.
They're participating
You're
single-handedly in a
referring
genocide.
continually to Jewish people as inbred, bro.
He's literally calling Jewish people Nazis just to avoid accountability. You call them inbreds. Well, they're Nazis, so they deserve to be called inbreds. He's literally going down the narcissistic mental abuser checklist like, oh, that didn't happen. And if it did happen, it wasn't that bad. And if it was that bad, they deserved it. Hasan is 100% an anti-Semite. That much is apparent. We don't need it to be hammered home this hard. They're beating a dead horse at this point.
You said that the Houthi Luffy was not a pirate.
He's not.
Oh, fuck yeah. We're in the Monkey D. Houthi arc. See what happens when you skip all the filler episodes? We're already like 3 hours in. I'm pretty sure Hasan compares a Houthi pirate to Anne Frank, and Ethan has to remind Hasan that Anne Frank was inspirational due to her pacifism. And if she had started killing Germans like some sort of ninja assassin, she wouldn't be a famous or inspirational name. And Hasan just cannot seem to wrap his head around this concept.
I believe what the Houthis are doing in terms of stopping Israel doing a genocide to implement a blockade on the Red Sea is a good thing.
Well, there you have it. We don't need to go any further. Hasan just said that the Houthi pirates are doing a good thing, hijacking civilian ships and taking Filipino crews hostage. The Philippines have nothing to do with this conflict, but they were held captive for a year, and as a Filipino myself, I find that particularly disturbing. Mr. I choose my words very carefully just said that's a good thing. He believes kidnapping a bunch of innocent Filipinos is somehow a deterrent for Israel because Hasan Piker is a fucking retard. They run in circles for a little bit about kidnapped sailors, like for 15 minutes in circles about the kidnapped Filipinos, and Hasan is defending kidnapping innocent civilians as some sort of resistance. It's embarrassing to watch one man simp so hard for a group of barbaric terrorists. Ethan even gave Hasan an opportunity to admit that the Houthis sometimes do terrible shit, and he just can't do it. If I didn't know any better, I would assume that Hasan was being paid by some Middle Eastern entity to try to brainwash Americans. But on the other hand, I feel like that's giving him too much credit. But he's riding really hard for terrorists during this entire debate, and it's an anomaly to me. It's like bros living in a completely different universe. She's cherry picking facts, and sometimes he's just bold-faced lying about shit. I've never seen someone ride terrorist meat so hard in my life. It's making me feel very gross.
All right, let's give him a peace prize. Whatever, I don't care. Let's give him a peace prize.
I think they deserve it.
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Hasan then launches into an incoherent rant about the Houthis seeing themselves on social media and planes with the Star of David or some bullshit, and that's why they hate Jews. Not too long after that, he starts viciously crashing out over his Houthi butt pirates.
Looking through whatever his social media was to be like, this guy is bad.
Let's look at it.
Yeah, of course he's fucked up. He lives in goddamn Yemen.
Do you know what the bigotry of low expectations is?
Bel Air like you, dumbass.
Do you think he's like Anne Frank?
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Wow. Let me see if I can find a video of this guy and give you a visual comparison here. Yeah, here we go. He's comparing this to this. Oh yeah, that's 100% the same energy. We don't even need to debate it. Like, how are they the same? I'm so curious. If he doesn't explain how they're the same, I'm going to rage quit this video.
Did Anne
genocide?
Hasan thinks she's famous for surviving genocide, and Ethan had to correct him on that, and this correction causes Hasan to crash out for the 100th time and start rambling more incoherent bullshit.
Anne Frank is famous for being a pacifist and seeing the good in people despite a fucking Holocaust that took every member of her family but her dad. That's why she's inspiring. This guy went on Twitter and said, fuck Jewish people. Would you think
Anne Frank would be less inspiring if she somehow was able to get out
If she was like, I want to kill Germans and hang them? Yeah.
And took up arms against the Nazis? Would you say that Anne Frank is bad for that? Say Anne Frank is bad for that, Ethan.
For something that didn't happen?
Anne Frank would be bad if she took up arms against the violent Nazi occupation.
What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, we're done here. The Houthi pirates are not akin to Anne Frank because they both survived genocides. The dude wants to wipe out all the Jews, and they all scream death to America, and anyone who wishes for the downfall of America is an enemy of mine. They spend the rest of the video exposing Monkey D. Houthi, and if you want to watch the rest of it, I will link it in the description, but that's about as much Hasan Piker as I can handle. One thing I noticed while watching this, though, is that when Hasan is backed into a corner, he just says Ethan's name like a mother talking down to a 5-year-old, and it was really annoying.
Ethan.
You go.
Ethan.
Picture that, but like the entire time. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And you can go to seekingasylum.net to play one of my games or cop some sick merch. You can hit the join button down below to become a member of the channel and get a cool badge next to your name. Or you can go to my clips channel at NevClips to check out some live stream clips that I make in between uploads. And I'll see you in the next video. I've been riding around town, blowing loud with the window down. Oh shit. New phone, who this? I'm just steady winning. You can't even hurt my feelings, homie. Oh shit. New phone, who this? You can't ever slow me, half of y'all don't even know me, homie, oh shit. New phone, who this? Don't you dare try to call me, cause I'm introverted, homie, better text me that shit. New phone, who this?